Okay, let's talk Chargers Chiefs. Chargers go into Arrowhead and win 16-13. They have swept the Chiefs this year, beat them 27-21 in Brazil to kick off the NFL season. Also, of course, swept the Raiders and then beat the Broncos. So the Chargers are a perfect 5-0 in the division. They'll play the Broncos one more time. Last week of the season, they have the Cowboys and the Texans and then the Broncos to close out the season. Chargers are now 10-4. Obviously I'm locked into the Chargers these days with Jay Herbo at QB. Wanted to just hop on YouTube only and just give a take and just give a summary of the game. Was obviously locked in, CBS national game. Kevin Harlan, big shout out, one of the GOATs on play-by-play. And, as you look on, think about how do you recap this game? Where does it start? I think obviously nationally everyone says, man, the Chiefs will not play in the playoffs for the first time since 2014, 11 years ago. It was Andy Reid's second season. He was 9-7 that season. They missed the playoffs. His second season with the Chiefs, obviously. Mahomes drafted in 2017. He has never missed the playoffs, and now, unfortunately, due to a low hit from Deshaun Hand, kind of the end of the play, nothing cheap or malicious, but his knee bent all weird trying to scramble. The Chiefs released a statement. He's torn his ACL, so super unfortunate, of course. Hope for a speedy recovery there. Chiefs have played in 3 straight Super Bowls. I just wanted to drop a couple of stats because it's kind of mind-blowing. So Mahomes, this will obviously be the first time he's ever missed the playoffs. By the way, you're going to get Gardner Minshew in primetime on Christmas now because your man Minshew, who comes in and actually played really well for the first couple of plays, was hitting Travis Kelce, and then finally Jesse Minter goes, hey, Derwin, guard Travis Kelce, and then Derwin James and Kelce have had so many epic battles over the years for a long, long time, and Kelce's gotten the better of him a handful of times, including some game winners, and then obviously Derwin gets the better of Kelce in this one, skies up for the interception, defends him well, and seals the game with that pick. Also a huge pick earlier in the game from Diane Henley on Mahomes that saved at least 3 points on a big third down earlier in the game in the second half. Let me just go through these stats. So obviously, like I said, 3 straight Super Bowls, 9 straight AFC West division titles for the Chiefs. That's crazy, man. That's insanely impressive. That is only second all-time to 11 straight AFC playoff berths. 11 straight playoff berths from Tom Brady and the Patriots from 2009 to 2019. Chiefs had won a playoff game in 7 straight seasons, second only to the Patriots, who won 8 straight seasons with playoff wins from 2011 to 2018. That is insane. Chiefs were one of just 4 teams ever to advance to 3 straight Super Bowls. Would have been the first team ever to three-peat had they beaten the Eagles last year. Obviously got blown out, but at least made the game. Kansas City's 7 consecutive conference championship game appearances is the second longest streak in the Super Bowl era, only behind the Patriots, 8 straight from 2011 to 2018. That was just an insane run there. I was looking for one more stat. I guess just 10 straight playoff berths is obviously crazy. Second longest run in NFL history behind the Patriots. It's just amazing. The Patriots went to 11 straight playoffs from 2009 to 2019 and 8 straight conference championship games. That's wild. Man, it's crazy. Andy Reid, 28 playoff wins, second only to Bill Belichick's 31. I'm just really reading this release from NFL Stats here on NFL.com. It's just nuts, man. It's gonna be weird. I think I saw some tweet today from, I believe it was ESPN Stats and Info. It'll be the first time since '98 that there won't be a Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady playing in the postseason. It's just nuts. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And, I think we had all felt, the Patriots were leaking oil a bit. The Chiefs were leaking oil a bit. I was going to go back and look at the Super Bowl history here. So, obviously, KC plays in 3 straight, wins 2, beat Philly, beat San Francisco, lost to Philly last year. Then you had that Rams, Bengals, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald Super Bowl. Then Tampa Bay, Kansas City, TB12 packing up KC, and then Mahomes' first Super Bowl win was in 2020 over San Francisco, 31-20. That was a Jimmy G team. Big shout out. But yeah, man, it's just it's crazy to see. It's just crazy to see a team like the Chiefs not be in the postseason and go out like this. Chargers were the better team. I mean, watch the whole game. Chargers outgained them, outpossessed the ball. I thought the best thing the Chargers did in this game, besides play just sensational defense, was they actually ran the ball decently well. Still couldn't protect Herbert very well in the passing game. Herbert just keeps getting dinged and hit and jumping over dudes when he's trying to release the ball. That pass that he had to Trey Harris up the left sideline near the end of the first half to get them in position to throw it to Keandre Lambert-Smith, which was a jump pass touchdown in the back of the end zone. That was some magic from Herbert, man. And by the way, I'll get to the Chargers side of it in a second. The rookie skill guys for the Chargers in this game are coming alive, and it was a massive difference from the playoff game that I was at in Houston last year, where it felt like Herbert had no one to throw to besides McConkey. Them drafting a million skill guys and then bringing over Keenan Allen, huge, man. But to put a bow on the Chiefs side of things, man, I actually, we can just go through the game really quick in game takes. I mean, the Chiefs couldn't run the ball super well. They weren't protecting Herbert great. The acquisition that the Chargers made on their D-line this year, they've really done a good job of stocking up the D-line and bringing dudes in. Deshaun Hand, and who's the other guy? Oweh from the Ravens, who's a first-round pick, by the way, traded for him. And then obviously everyone knows Tuli Tuipulotu, one of the best sack artists in the league, has been for a couple of years now. I mean, I think he's still on a rookie deal for the Chargers. They're going to have to pay him a lot of money. Obviously, you have Khalil Mack out there who gets a ton of attention. Tier Tart, good D lineman. So they let some D linemen go. They drafted Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon, who I think has been hurt the whole year. He hasn't played a ton. He played in this game. He had 2 tackles in this game, but he hasn't played a ton. He was a second-round pick. I mean, the improvement of their D-line, man, and just the front seven in general, Diane Henley just continues to be a super underrated player in the league. Number 0, linebacker, had a huge pick in this game as well. He's one of the team captains, kind of coordinates the defense, along with the DC, Jesse Minter, who, by the way, there's no snowball's chance in hell that he's taken that Michigan job. I'll just tell you that right now. But I think just to get to it, I mean, Chargers just outplayed the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs were up 13-3 at one point. The Chargers offense did go kind of stagnant for a bit in the second quarter until the very end of the half. Obviously, massive job and critically important by the Chargers to score right before the end of the first half. That long bomb to Trey Harris and then the ball to Keandre Lambert-Smith. It wasn't the cleanest game on offense. I think everyone knows, Herbert's playing with a broken hand that's healing. He said he didn't take snaps under center throughout practice this week, but was able to do that in the game quite a bit. That helps a lot, just kind of disguising everything against the Eagles. And by the way, that's the other thing. Chargers have beaten the Eagles Eagles and Chiefs 2 weeks in a row. So they beat the champs last week and the runner-ups this week. So they beat the 2 Super Bowl teams 2 weeks in a row. And by the way, short week, like Monday Night Football against the Eagles, then at Arrowhead the next Sunday, and you still get the win. They've won 6 of 7. Only loss in there was that clunker against the Jags. They're 10-4. I'll get to their playoff picture in a second, but just the game in general, I mean, physical game. Tony Jefferson jacking dudes up. Rashee Rice, Karma, got jacked up by Tony Jefferson in this game. Just a clean hit, too. Like, slant route, third down, absolutely kill shot to the abdomen, knocked the wind out of him. And, that was a big play in the game. Got to stop there. And just like that physicality from Tony Jefferson, who obviously made the game-winning interception against the Eagles off the tip from Cam Hart last week, who made the play. Like, Tony Jefferson's been unreal. And then he got ejected for that hit on Thornton, which was helmet to helmet. And you feel for Thornton. It looked like he was seizing up. Obviously, I hope the guy's okay. But the physicality that Tony Jefferson brought to this game, man, I mean, the Chargers just kind of beat up the Chiefs. Sean Lewis, San Diego State, we bullied the hell out of them. The Chargers kind of bullied the hell out of them, held the Chiefs to 2.3 yards per carry. Pull up the stats here, but like Kareem Hunt, 6 carries, 12 yards. Like, that's usually a physical dude. Isaiah Pacheco, notoriously one of the hardest runners in the league, 11 carries for 21 yards, 1.9 a carry. I mean, they held the Chiefs running backs to, quick math, 19 carries for 34 yards. No touchdowns. Mahomes had the only rushing touchdown. That is amazing. On the Chargers side, that's what I want to get to on the Chargers side. Like the rookies, man, Amari Hampton, rookie, 15 carries, 61 yards. Oronde Gadsden, the rookie tight end, like a 5th or a 6th round pick. He's becoming one of Herbert's favorite weapons. Tight end, 4 grabs, 61 yards. Trey Harris, rookie out of Ole Miss, 3 grabs, 49 yards. And he had Keenan and Mike with some catches. Keenan and Lab with some catches. And then Keandre Lambert-Smith, the rookie, had his first career touchdown back at the end zone. Did a good job of hanging on to it. Got hit twice, 2 different ways. Like, dude, the Chargers did such a good job in the front office of addressing their lack of skill guys last year. Like, they drafted Ladd. Besides Ladd McConkey last year, I don't even know who Herbert was throwing to. Like, I can't even – I mean, Will Dissly was one of his favorite targets last year. Like, I remember watching that Texans game and being like, in the playoffs, dude, he's got no one's getting separation. He's got no one to throw to. And then they bring in Keenan Allen, who's obviously one of his favorite targets, had a couple third down conversions today. He just continues to be one of the sickest dudes I've ever seen on a football field. Like, he's just got game, man, and him and Herbert have that next level connection, and you know, he's just reliable. The defense has to watch him. Obviously, McConkey's a great player, and he is wide receiver 1 in terms of he's the best receiver on the team, so he commands a lot of attention. But that deep ball to Trey Harris was huge because, again, Quentin Johnston didn't play in this game, been battling, I think, a hamstring, didn't play in this game, and neither did McDuffie on the Chiefs side. But, you know, the skill guys who they drafted, man, they drafted 1, 2, 3, 4 skill guys who were vital to the success of this game. And that's just a good job by the front office, and Herbert has weapons that he distributes the ball to. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different guys caught a pass in this game. And by the way, the way they're using Trevor Penning, that new lineman, they're bringing him in motion a lot. So, like, this is one of my favorite things that the Chargers coaching staff has done this year. Now I'm doing a deep dive on the Chargers. I'll button it up so that I get back to bigger picture stuff for people who don't want to hear too much about the Chargers. But one of the coolest things the Chargers coaching staff has done this year, Greg Roman and Harbaugh, because they love O-linemen, but all of their O-linemen keep getting hurt, is they just keep bringing in new O-linemen to, like, play tight end. So, like, Trevor Penning, 64, was in motion a ton today. Like, they basically lined him up as tight end, reported him as eligible. He's 6'7", 325, and they basically were just like, hey, you're going to, like, be a tight end, but, like, on an all-time blocking tight end, because Gadsden's not really a blocking tight end, yet he's tremendously skilled, and that's huge for the team. Like, vertical threat at tight end is huge for the team, but he's not really a blocking guy yet. But they brought in Penning to block a ton, and then they bring in this guy, Scott Matlock, and they've done this for a while now. Scott Matlock is 6'4", 300, shout out Boise State. He was a 6th-round pick as a D lineman out of Boise State. And what he does is he acts as a fullback or like a 6th/7th offensive lineman because they recognize the protection's been so bad this year without Alt and without Slater and with various injuries on the interior of the O-line as well. And Pipkins, like the backup, keeps getting hurt. The backups of the backups keep getting hurt on the Chargers O-line. So what they're doing is they move D linemen or backup tight ends to like the receiver, fullback, H-back spot and just have them block. And it's really creative and it actually works really well. And Matlock does that. He even caught a touchdown earlier this year. So Matlock and Penning, huge shout out to those guys. They help give Herbert a bit more time. But you know, to put a bow on the Chiefs stuff, man, I think it's not the worst thing for them. Like, dude, so they're gonna finish with a bad record. I mean, they're a couple games under 500 now. Minshew's leading the team the rest of the year. Huge shout out to the mustache, Minshew Mania, all about it. Legend in Pullman, legend with the Mike Leach days. Beat Herbert back in college, on the Palouse when College Game Day was there. I remember that game. He was so good at Washington State. You know, so he's gonna be in prime time on Christmas. And anyways, they're probably gonna, you know, it's not even necessarily his fault, but they'll probably lose. I mean, they weren't even winning at a high level with Mahomes this year, so I don't think it's the worst thing to obviously rest Mahomes. Of course, like you never want the ACL or saw the ACL coming, but just like rest the team, get a easy schedule next year. Like when you know the worse record you finish with, the easier your schedule is. Shout out to the Broncos and the Patriots who are enjoying the fruits of that this year. And, you get a better draft pick, you get an easier schedule. I think that's a good reset for the Chiefs. I mean, obviously, it'll be a healing offseason for Mahomes, but I think that it was a reset that they needed. To make 3 straight Super Bowls, one of 4 teams ever, that's an insane accomplishment in itself. And then on top of that, you always hear that stat about like the team that loses the Super Bowl, like 50% of the time doesn't even make the postseason the next year because they're exhausted, they're tired, other dudes have signed maybe elsewhere. The Super Bowl hangover, just being discouraged from getting so close and losing the big game, especially in the case of the Chiefs. Could have been the first ever team to three-peat, got close, obviously wasn't very close in the game, in the Super Bowl game, because the Eagles blew them out, but they were one game away from making history. So yeah, they're just exhausted, man. And anyways, I put a bow on all the stats, how insanely impressive it was. 9 straight AFC West titles. 9 straight division titles is crazy. That was snapped last week, obviously, but out of the playoffs for the first time since 2014, first ever missed playoffs from Mahomes. So I that's what it means for the Chiefs side of things. On the Chargers side, man, I went through all the rookies. The fact that they have all of these rookies who are stepping up at the skill spots is exactly what they needed. Tony Jefferson, jacking dudes up. Again, he was like a Ravens assistant coach, had already retired, was a longtime Charger, but had already retired. They call him Unk. He comes back, starts jacking dudes up, has the game-winning interception against the Eagles. Dude, beyond that, undefeated in the division. The Broncos have won 11 straight since losing to the Chargers. They lost the Chargers to drop to 1-2. They've won 11 straight since then. I remember that game 23-20. They also lost to the Colts right before that. And then they've won 11 straight, beat the Packers today. Bo Nix was slinging it to Troy Franklin. Bunch of ducks connecting, man. They look really good. The Chargers schedule the rest of the way. And then I'll do their playoff picture as I wrap it up here. Again, at Cowboys next week, home against the Texans, who have a nasty D-line. Cowboys just lost to the Niners. They don't look great. Their playoff chances are basically cooked. And then at the Broncos. And the thing about the Broncos is, final week of the season, they might actually be able to rest because they're ahead of the Chargers, even though the Chargers already beat them, because they're 12-2 and the Chargers are 10-4. They actually, depending on if they take care of business or not, they might be able to rest that final week of that regular season. Let me take a look at Denver's schedule. I know it's tough. I believe they have. Come on, why is that not working? Take a look at the Broncos schedule here. They have the Jags, at the Chiefs, and then the Chargers. Obviously, at the Chiefs just got easier with Mahomes out for the year, but Jags are playing great ball right now, but it's at home, and then at Chiefs, and then against the Chargers. And so here's the playoff picture right now. So the Broncos are 12-2. They're in first, obviously leading the AFC West. Patriots at 11-3, just lost to the Bills. Jags, Steelers, and then the Chargers are the 5 spot. Bills are with the win today. That was a huge win for them in New England. They get up to 10 wins, so they're 10-4. So basically the Chargers and the Bills are fighting for that 5 seed. The thing about the 5 seed is you get to play the winner of the AFC North, which is either going to be the Steelers or the Ravens. Both teams, Ravens won today. They shut out the Bengals. Steelers have a better record at 7-6. I know that those are tough places to play, at Pittsburgh and at Baltimore, but I think if you're the Chargers, you'd rather play them at the 5 seed than going to Jacksonville. The 6 seed's going to have to go to Jacksonville in all likelihood. The 7 seed will have to go to New England, which honestly that might be the easiest one, depending on how you feel about New England. Their strength of record is just gross. I mean, they have not played many good teams this year. They did win in Buffalo, I do remember that, but they just, and again, definitely impressed with the Patriots this year for sure, but playoff time, a little bit of an inflated record. It's not that I'm not buying that they're a good team. I know they're a good team, but they were so bad the last couple of years that the dramatic turnaround is based on the ascension of May, who will probably win the MVP, and then also the easy record. But again, their offense looks great. And then the Broncos, man, I mean, incredible defense, incredibly talented defense, incredibly creative offensive coach, playing with a chip on their shoulder. Again, they got the whole rookie QB deal, which is benefiting them a lot. They're dishing out a ton of money to guys like Zach Allen and Pat Surtain and all those dudes. J.K. Dobbins goes down for them, but R.J. Harvey's looked pretty good. Troy Franklin, obviously a good receiver, and Sutton as well. If the Chargers stay at the 5 spot, then they play the winner of the AFC North, a.k.a. Pittsburgh or the Ravens. They beat them, they would play the Broncos. Beat the Broncos, and you're in the AFC Championship game. Like, that's a pretty good draw. Like, if you're asking me who would you not want to play from a Chargers perspective, I don't think you want to play the Jags or the Texans. Those teams seem to have your number. Bills would obviously be very, very challenging. And then I would probably say the Broncos, and then I would say the easiest game left would be the Patriots, other than Steelers or Ravens. So it's a playoff picture that looks pretty promising for the Bolts. I mean, they're going to finish somewhere in the 5, 6, 7 range. They're not going to fall out of the playoff picture with the Colts declining. Although the Colts almost won in Seattle today, and hey, I kind of saw that coming. I said take the Colts plus 14 because these 40-something-year-old quarterbacks, the first couple of games they play in, the team rallies like crazy. I mean, Joe Flacco was unreal for the first couple of games before getting jacked up. Phillip Rivers, kind of the same thing. Not unreal, but was playing well enough, and the team is rallying around him, and they were up 16-15 and lost on a last-second field goal. So, but that being said, the Colts are not going to hop into the 5, 6, 7 spot in all likelihood. Texans have gotten some clutch wins lately to stay in that playoff picture, but that's kind of your wrap-up, man. Huge win for the Chargers. The defense, again, like the defense is not carrying them the entire way because Herbert and the offense are making enough plays, but the defense to me has been the story, certainly against the Eagles and today against the Chiefs. I mean, I think it's that combination of Harbaugh really understands complementary football, how important it is to run the ball, how important it is to protect Herbert, and how important it is to just hold the ball. Like in the Chargers had a 6-minute drive in the first quarter and a 6 or a 7-minute drive in the fourth quarter that they just held the ball away from Mahomes and gave their defense a ton of rest, and that's a huge key. Yes, the defense is more talented. Yes, Jesse Minter is a better coach than the coaches they've had in recent history, but I also think it's Harbaugh's winning recipe of holding the ball. Even though Herbert's numbers aren't going to look nearly as good as they were in his first couple seasons where they just dropped him back 40 times, for people who want to see Herbert have crazy numbers, he's still got like the second most yards ever through 6 seasons, which is nuts, behind Peyton Manning. But I think this winning recipe where he only has to throw the ball 20-something times is exactly what they want to do. So there's your wrap-up, man. Looks like that went a little long, but there's your wrap-up on the Chiefs and the Chargers. And maybe I will put this out in podcast form. Why not? Appreciate you guys listening. And big week of college football coming up, man. Massive, massive, massive week of college football coming up with the college football playoffs starting on the 19th. You can bet I'll be getting a ton of articles out, ton of written articles, and some pods out this week to hit on CFB.